just as a refresher for everyone before Miklos comes in, my role is I try to be kind of advisor and consultant through this process. I really try to let the committees do the work and really just kind of fill in where needed, give background information, or in some cases, interject where things may be going into more revolution or maybe there's some cross issues with other activities. But largely, this is going to be, I'm here as a monitor, so to speak. And this will largely be y'all's meeting ran by Miklos and Sarah.
Cool. I can start with those assignments. Do we want to start with those assignments?
Let's give Miklos another minute. I see him trying to get in.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, he just shot me a text. He's just trying to get Wi-Fi, get connectivity.
We'll give him a second. You all on the committee should have your assignments, right? So you know which one's been assigned and where they are there. Cool.
Yeah, not quite sure what to do with it yet.
I think we're all in the same boat, Kent.
Yep.
Some of you have done this before though, right? Joe, you've done this before?
I have several times, unfortunately.
Several, not unfortunately, come
on. I did have a question though, Dewey. So if in the teams there, if it says the TSC is, if it lists the groups that have been consulted, does that mean that that's already been sent to them? I just can't remember if I sent that to them or if you guys send those CRs to the groups once you identify those. I think we flip-flopped on that a couple of times, I think how that process was going to work. But the one that I have says that three of the TSCs have been notified, but I talked to one of them today and they did not get a notification.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we're still refining that process. So basically, yes, they're going to be auto assigned to everyone. And part of the problem, in all due honesty, is last month has just been nuts for everybody involved.
Yes, sir.
So we're a little behind on those process of getting them connected. But things have kind of gotten to a more manageable point. So we're going to be working on making sure that's done over the next few days.
Awesome. And then I had one more question, maybe you can answer, because I think last time we spoke, you were going to look into it. The TRC evaluation forms, are they editable once we save them, or should we work separately and then add that stuff later?
They are editable.
Okay.
Yeah, no. The question may be who can edit, but they are editable. Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to enter I don't want to enter some notes now and then have to go back and change them later and do that. So I can work off the old template because I have that saved, but
yeah, absolutely.
There, I'll do it in there, but I don't want to save it and then not be able to go back and update it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we can definitely go in and modify those.
Okay.
Yep. Miklos, I see you are on, so I am going to turn the show over to you, and I'll fill in the gaps as I need to.
And thank you, Miklos, because it was going to come to me and I was terrified. So, you know.
Problem. Best here. Sorry about that. Having some technical difficulties today. Today will be a pretty short meeting. What I wanted to do was just connect with everybody, and some people were having some trouble getting to, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Over some of the hours that I've sent out and that we've received so far, and just make sure everyone's kind of good to go. And questions and review the policy the procedures if we need to do that. So as up these CRs, do you have any particular CRs or the process or anything kind of before we get started?
Nicholas, your audio is a little wacky.
All right, good to know. Is that any better?
Yeah.
Does anybody have questions at this point about any of the CRs that they've received or the process?
Miklos, I think it would be helpful if we kind of went through the process. So you're assigned a CR. Now I have a CR in my custody or whatever assignment. What do I do with it, right? Do I send it to the TSC? Does it need to go to a TSC? All CRs are supposed to go to a TSC, correct?
That is correct. Yeah. So in previous years, we did the judgment call. You know, we said some maybe need to, some don't, and we'll just depending what there is. From what I understand, this year is we are sending CRs to TSC to and get their notes on it. So there's nothing really to review because y'all received your CRs, I think, last week. We sent them out. So you've probably not had a chance. You probably haven't had a chance to get that TSC. We haven't communicated much with the TSCs to get it when those need to get around. So that's kind of and already make sure you send your CRs over to any TSCs. If you have any questions about which ones they might to go to ask me or Dewey. But I think Dewey, I think we're kind of leaving that up to y'all to decide.
Hey, I have one other question for you, Miklos, on that. Is it the person that's assigned the TR or the CR, their responsibility to send it to the TSC, or is that something that comes back to you and I and we send them?
Oh, from it is the C what are now administrator. I'm trying to remember.
Nicholas, your audio is poor. Having trouble
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah, let me fill in here for a second. The way
Okay.
the TSCs are intended to work, right, is that on our end, we will look at the CRs and submit them and coordinate with the TSCs. The TSCs will then complete an evaluation form that the facilitators will go back and refer to as part of the review process. Like I said, it's been nuts. It's been nuts. So I haven't been in the weeds. I've been below the roots of the weeds. So some of that has honestly fallen behind the wayside. But I've got it on my list to go ahead and get those connected, get those out, get the TSCs activated, and get those reviews completed. So I'll definitely have that done before the next meeting, and hopefully have the TSC evaluations in before the next meeting.
Dewey, Sarah, Miklos, would it be helpful on this call, maybe even right now, to have one of you guys share your screen and show everybody how to log in? I'm not sure if everybody's even logged in to the site, and maybe walk through one, if it's a mock one, or go through one that has been addressed, and show everybody the steps and how it's not as scary as we think it might be.
I like that, Joe. Not as scary. I'm all for not
Yeah.
scary stuff. I could share my screen, but I don't know that I'm going to be super helpful as far as walking through the process.
If you can share your screen, Sarah, because I know Miklos is having significant connections issue. If you could do that, that will be helpful. And then we can all walk through it together.
Do you want me to share the Microsoft Teams screen or from the CMAHC website?
Let's do the CMAHC website for the evaluation.
Okay. Let me open that up.
Thank you, Sarah. Sorry.
No worries. Okay. I have to find the right screen. I have a few open. Okay. I want to share. None of the
Sarah.
ones that I have. Yeah.
Sarah, I have made you co-host to where you can share your screen at will.
Oh, cool. I'm sharing my Zoom screen, but that's not the one I want. Okay. Can everybody see that then?
Yes.
Cool. There we go. So I'm logged in. Guide me.
So, so here, right, obviously you see your name, you see all the committees that you're assigned to. There's your sector. That's your general login information, right?
Mhm.
So Sarah, if you go back over to the left of the screen.
Okay. Go to
Oh,
change
T-
request.
Yep. So
Okay.
once you go to change request, then you can click TRC evaluations.
Okay.
Nope, go back.
At the
Click
top of that,
Oh, right here, TRC evaluations.
Yep.
Okay.
Now scroll back over to the right, just because I'm on the phone. Do you see where it says submit an evaluation?
Submit a TRC evaluation. Yep.
Yep, click that,
Okay.
right? So that opens up everything. So what you would do is on the drop-down menu for change request, you would find the CR that you've been submitted to, you've been assigned to. Okay, so just randomly click one, Sarah.
Which, can we do this editorial one or should we do a different one?
Yeah, let's do the editorial. That's fine. Yeah, do the editorial.
Okay.
Now over where it says champion, right? That's actually going to be, we need to change that to facilitator. We're still waiting on that change to be done. So you would just type in your name. Okay. And then document posted for voting, right? So here you've got a couple of different options, right? One is posted as submitted, which is the TRC is not recommending any changes to the CR. So this is after you have completed your review, and this is done after we have discussed it as a TRC. So for this one, let's just click post. Well, let's go through the options first. Posted as submitted means that there are no changes. Go ahead and do the drop-down menu, please.
Okay.
Posted as submitted means that there are no changes, and the CR will be posted as it exists currently. Posted as submitted, TRC modifications not acceptable to submitter, means that the TRC has evaluated this CR, and as a group, y'all have recommended modifications to the CR. As facilitator, you have reached out to the CR submitter with these recommendations, and they have opted not to approve the recommendations. This would be selected if we, as a TRC, believe that the CR is good in spirit, but needs some technical refinement. Right. This third option is posted with approved TRC submitter modifications, which means obviously that we have talked to the CR submitter with the modifications coming out of the TRC, and they are fine with those changes. And then obviously the last one is we have recommended changes. The submitter has been unable to be contacted, and the TRC is opting to move forward with those submissions. Most CRs will be posted as submitted. And keep in mind that posted as submitted is not an endorsement. It is not necessarily that we're recommending that CR. It just simply is, that's the language for this change request.
Mhm.
So Sarah, if you would post it as submitted, just click that.
Okay.
Under TRC recommendation, you'll see the 3 different options. Right? Yes, TRC agrees. No, TRC disagrees. And the abstain is when we do not have a 60% consensus on any individual CR. Okay.
On this one, Dewey, can I just chime in a little bit? This
Sure.
one's an editorial one. So this one wouldn't come to the TRC, correct?
Correct. Correct. And that's why I wanted to choose this one, because it really didn't matter what we typed in, right?
Mhm.
Because the editorial CRs all go through the editorial review board. This one has Miklos, Sarah, myself, Joe representing CDC, Joe Lako rather, and then also one of our board members, Michael Beach, review all of the editorial CRs. And if it truly is editorial, we flag it. It's still going to be visible for those to see, but that is not coming to the TRC. That is an automatic change in the process. If it is not an editorial, then we kick it back into the TRC queue for discussion.
Will editorial changes be voted on?
No, they will not. Yep. And editorial changes are things like, for example, we have one where there's a small, no, that's a bad one. We have one where there's a period left off identifying a number, something along those ways, right? Little minor thing. No, it's a plus sign. We're missing a plus sign.
Yep.
So that one, we'll just go ahead and make those changes. There's no need to vote. We're going to leave them open for visibility purposes. But, before we get to the vote on them, we will archive those to where they're not part of the voting process.
Do we, and this is maybe a question that's ahead of time, could we say abstain here and then say editorial TRC?
Yeah,
No
sure.
reason for vote?
Yeah,
And
sure.
then we can mark them that way?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, we might need to add another select. It won't let me type.
Well, editorial ones won't even get to this point, will they?
Yeah.
Correct.
No, they really won't. So
And
for
this-
our purposes here, Sarah, just click one. Because this is more about the evaluation and not so much about this specific CR.
Okay.
And this form that Sarah's filling out right now won't be completed until after we've met and after we've discussed it together.
Correct.
So are we able to go through how a TRC member accesses a CR to look at it and be prepared to discuss it?
Yep. So if you'll go back up, Sarah.
Okay.
And then scroll over to change request to the side menu on the side to the left.
Okay. Mhm.
All right. And you see all change requests. So go ahead and click. Go ahead and click the filter equipment room is not a chemical storage room. Yep. So when you click that, then you view the CR and you'll see all of the supporting information, what they're proposing. You see the full list for your review. You'll be able to see comments submitted by membership and stakeholders on that particular change request. If you go down to vote totals, right, we actually need to modify that, probably because I have you set up as an admin, Sarah.
Mm.
That could be what's going on. So
Okay.
we'll need to modify that, right? But what you would see on the CR is you will see where individuals can come in and either support or not support the change request. Right, versus the vote totals.
So each facilitator would go and click on their assigned CR and review what we have right in front of us, the purpose and the proposed change and the supporting documentation. Is there anything we need to fill out or any form we need to complete to let everyone know that we've done this step, we've looked at it, and we're ready to discuss it? Or are we just going to meet and we're going to assume that everyone's looked at what they're supposed to, and we're simply just going to discuss it?
Correct, the latter. So we will meet. So you'll review the CR, right? You'll review all the supporting information, and then we'll meet to discuss. Sarah, if you go back up to the top. Go back to change request, just the general.
Okay.
Yep. So click on TSC evaluations. So there are currently, okay, so that's a little tweak there. So there are currently no TSC evaluations. We will, as part of your review process, you would click TSC evaluations and review that information. So yeah, in general, there's not a check off to say, hey, I looked at it. It's just as a TRC member, the impetus is on you, the onus is on you. Before you come up for that CR in your meeting, in the scheduled meeting, is to review the CR, review the evaluations, and be able to have a conversation and explanation about that particular CR.
Would it be helpful if, in addition to the CR assignment on that spreadsheet, maybe have an additional tab with a schedule with which CRs we're going to be talking about on which dates? So people can plan ahead of time and know when they're expected to be ready.
So my plan with today's meeting was to just make sure everybody was kind of familiar with where to find everything and what the general process is, and then what I was is next week read and see if anyone, some of these are pretty simple, so reach next week if anyone was ready to discuss their CR during the next meeting. Some of these are probably going to need a little bit of time for the TSCs to get together and deliberate and get their comments in before we're able to discuss it. So we're building the plane as we're flying it, so to speak. So we got to get enough parts in place before we can start, reviewing things.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll start scheduling the CRs for each of the meetings that we have.
Yep. So something we'll need to do, Miklos, is we'll need to loop Jill in on the schedule because we're going to need to send out to membership and stakeholders a schedule of the CRs that we'll be discussing, as well as the link for the meeting. So I'll need to remember to loop Jill into that process. You'll probably see an email from me in the next 30 minutes or so with that connection.
Okay.
Yep.
So y'all have your assignments at this point. So really at this point, what I would do is pull the CR, read through it, make sure you understand it, get it to whatever TSCs are applicable to that CR, and give them a timeline, what you think is adequate to be able to review it. Understand that they've got to get together and be able to do that and coordinate schedules. But if they can do it within a week or so, that'd be great. And then,
Miklos, just interject there,
Yeah.
right? To try to make this whole process easier, we're going to be coordinating the TSCs ourselves on our end.
oh, we are, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So the facilitators will not have to do that. So that'd be a
Alright.
function of me, you, Sarah.
Thank
That'd be
you,
a
Dewey.
function of, that'd be a function of you or,
Yeah, primarily. Yep.
okay, okay.
And really, it was just, and those that have been through this process before can attest. That was one of the biggest kind of issues with the whole thing, is getting the TSCs together and coordinating and getting info. And even if you were on a TSC, sometimes connectivity with others was difficult. So putting the onus on us, CMAHC staff, with support of Sarah Miklos, kind of helps put a little bit more pressure to be sure it's done, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Well then in that case, Dewey and I will go through and make sure we know what TSCs are going to be consulted for each of
Yep.
those. We'll get those going. And so if y'all can just review the CRs that you have so far, get an understanding of them. And I think within a week or so, we'll be able to update on what's going to happen on the next meeting.
Yeah.
So I
Has
have a
everybody
question.
on this call received your login information? And have you practiced? Have you actually logged into the CMAHC site and know that it works? Does anyone not have their login information?
I've had trouble logging into the CMAHC site. The Councilman Hunsaker team site has been a challenge.
And that's fine. The whole thing with Teams was just to try to coordinate some of this and everyone be able to update the CRs kind of in the same place. But if that's not going to work out for everybody, I know some, sorry, I'm going to mute myself real quick. I know some institutions are not allowing the guests log in, so that's okay. What I'll do is continue to send out an updated spreadsheet. You can just update it on the spreadsheet and then send it back to me, and I'll make those updates in Teams. That's not an issue. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Can we show Teams though, just so everybody can see how, because I really like the way you have it set up, actually, if I'm understanding it correctly. I think it's a good tool.
Yeah.
It makes navigating even the CMAHC site easier, I think, because you can just click right on the Teams app.
Do you want me to share my screen again? My Microsoft
Please.
Teams?
Yes, please, Sarah, with Miklos's connection issues.
Yeah. So here's I've logged into Teams. So you can see the teams, and then you'll just have to walk me through. So here's the CR. It has the date it was submitted. Who's the facilitator? So it has a list of the facilitator. And then the TSCs that have been consulted. I don't know that we've sent those yet, but we will send those. And as we scroll over, we can see that it's open.
Oh.
And then this links directly to the CMAHC request, correct? Miklos?
Takes you right to
Yeah,
the
that's
change request.
That's
yeah.
correct. Yeah, I'm trying to. So anyone that's able to get into Teams, and if you're able to get in and update this information on your own, that would be wonderful to be able to do that. So I don't have to do every single one. But if you can't, that's not a problem too. I'll just find time to do it. So this screen, if you look up top, you'll see a general posts, files, and change request tracker. So this is a tracker that I'm going to be using during our meetings to just keep us on task with whatever CR that we're working on for that day. It'll have all the information from that CR form pulled in there. If you click on files, Sarah, up top, Any relevant files that you might need to reference. So any updated change request spreadsheets I'll put in here as well. I will also send them out. So you'll have those whether you can get in or not. But I'll put the updated change request spreadsheets in here. The Word file you see here is the TRC and TSC members that Dewey sent out. And then any other additional files or anything that gets sent out that we might just need a reference at some point will get saved here as well. So you can go back and pull them up easily. There is a posts section next to files. You are more than happy to, or you're more than welcome to go ahead and like post questions. You can tag people if you need to relate it to somebody specifically. That's fine too. I don't expect to use this a ton, but you're more than welcome to use this to post questions. I also created a TRC team and a TSC team down there on the left.
I have
So
to
if
move
you
my
click-
camera. Sorry,
Yeah,
there we go.
That's all right. If you click on TRC team, basically what this is just a separate kind of section for the TRC team specifically. So if there's any files or any posts that we need to discuss between us, it's there. It is open to everyone that is on the committees. So there's no state secrets or anything here. It's just for convenience sake. Same with the TSC team. If they want, if those team members want to post questions or talk about anything, they're more than welcome to do that here. Files can go in that file section as well. Again, to anyone that is within the group, everything is going to be open. So also make sure you're professional with whatever you post and whatever you say in here. It's not Twitter, it's not Facebook. Keep it all related to the CMAC.
Is there a code? Does this team channel have a code?
There should not be a code. No, the invitation was sent directly to your email. So if you need me to resend that, let me know.
Yeah, if you could resend it, I'll try it again. I'm not so
Okay.
sure it'll work, but I'll give it another try.
Yeah, no problem. I'll resend it to everybody.
Sarah, can you go back to the tracker?
Yep. This is good. This is good experience for me to find these things. So I'm glad I get to drive for a minute.
I have a question after it pops up here. The CR number on the left there, it looks like it's clickable. What happens if you click that?
It
Let's
takes
try
you into the actual CR. Yep.
Yeah,
But it's still
So
the
this
team's
is-
environment.
It's still the team's environment, but in here, what you can do is we'll populate probably some more sections as we continue this process. If there's any attachments or any additional kind of items that are related to that, you can also throw them in there so that we can review those during our deliberations during the meeting. So it just makes for an easy place, easy repository for everything.
And this isn't necessarily directly linked to the CMAC site.
It is if you.
This
click
is not,
Here, this is kind of an overview, right? If I'm not mistaken, this is an overview of everything that's been done for that particular CR. And then
That's
it has
correct.
a link to the CMAC site within there. But back on the other screen, if you go all the way to the right, that's also the link directly to the CMAC site. So if you want
Right,
the.
but
want the
anything you
actual
do in
change,
here
yes.
doesn't happen on the CMAC site.
correct.
That's
They're
what I
two
mean.
separate sites. Yeah.
They don't talk to each other.
No, we don't have permission to write on anything on the CMAX site other than those evaluations.
Okay.
So that's why I felt it necessary to kind of create this repository so that makes it a little bit easier. Hang on. Makes it a little bit easier for us to kind of have everything in one place as we're talking about everything. Sarah, the other thing that I wanted to show everyone is if you go up to the very top right, where it says Councilman Hunsaker, if you are members of multiple teams, if you click on that, you can toggle between the different environments that you're a part of. So Sarah is part of the Summit County, Utah. She's also part of Councilman Hunsaker. So if she needs to switch back over to Summit County, she can just click on that and it'll switch the environment.
I like that.
So-
That actually really helps, Nicholas.
Okay, good. So if you've been
That's
having,
where I was getting tripped up.
yeah, if you've been having issues getting logged in, you may have been logged in, but you just might not be selected. You might not have selected the correct environment yet. So try that too, and shoot me an email or shoot me a text if it's still not working. I'll do my best, but I'm not an IT guy. I don't have any control over IT or your IT. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. So.
And I am more than willing to push buttons and take chances, as Grace knows, because we did that for a while to figure out how to get in and figure it out. So that's really helpful for me.
Yeah.
And I am more than willing to meet on like Google Meets, or we ended up on FaceTime on our phones, Grace and I, to walk through. So we made it, but yeah, I'm willing to help with that too.
And Miklos,
Yeah.
we can add notes to this, right? So like if I have a conversation with a TSC member or the TSC as a group or something, I can put some notes in there each time I have a little conversation about different points here, and it'll keep it
Absolutely.
in one place so that when I go to the CMAC website to do the final evaluation form, I can pull the notes right from the tracker and add them to my final evaluation form over there, as opposed to have to keeping this separate on a Word document or something like that, or an email chains or whatever, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Or I'm hoping that it'll make the whole process easier, because I remember, like, as I was doing my evaluations, you know, sometimes you forget some of the conversation. You got to go back and watch the video and make sure you got all the deliberations and everything. But if we're kind of updating things as we're doing it, hopefully it'll make the process a little bit easier.
So Joseph, this is your CR that I have pulled up here. You could add comments here. So I'm going to say practice comment. Oh, I can't type though. Seriously can't type.
That's why it's practice.
That's right. Thank you. And submit that comment. And then you can see that I did a practice comment there. So you could add whatever comments that you want to this. You could add your attachments down at the bottom. And then you can go back to the list, and you always have it here. It's always linked here.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. I like it.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So that's perfect. Yeah,
Can I
and
delete
it-
that? I'm going to delete that comment. Is that okay?
you sure
Yeah,
can.
go
I
for
changed my name to Joe because you threw me off when you said Joseph.
Oh, sorry, Joe. Okay,
I'm in
good.
trouble when I hear that
Well,
word.
I have Joe Lako and Joe, I don't know how to say your last name.
Stefaniak.
Stefaniak. Okay, I didn't know which one to say. So there we go. All right. Joe and Joe.
Joseph makes me nervous. I'm in trouble when I hear that.
That's mom calling, right?
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
The other thing I wanted to let y'all know, if there's any additional columns that you would like me to add to these, right now I'm the only one that's really able to do that, since it's Councilman Hunsaker. So if there's any additional comments you want me to add on, let me know and I can do that. I haven't replicated everything that is in that CR form when you look on the website, because I've been waiting to see if we're able to get all those CRs in an Excel file instead of a PDF. Right now, they're all in PDF, and I was trying to do some wizardry to try to get that into Excel, and I couldn't get it done. So
Can you add a column that shows the name of the person that submitted the CR?
yeah, we'll add all the rest of those. What I was trying to do is wait until wait and see. Dewey, do you know if we've been able to get that sorted?
Yeah, which part sort of make close?
Get the CRs to download in Excel or at least a CSV file.
Oh, yeah. I know we're still working out on our end.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I basically have to have Christy approve the work.
Gotcha. So Sarah, is it allowing you to add a column?
It is.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not a dictator, so you're more than welcome to add a column if you see it as necessary. So feel free, go nuts. You're not going to break anything, so go for it.
You're allowing me to push buttons. That's dangerous, but you said, and everybody heard, so we're good.
Absolutely. I would say, if anything, just don't delete anything. If you add a column or something, don't delete it. Maybe if something looks like it might need to be deleted, wait till we get to a meeting and bring it up then, and we can just kind of decide whether it should be or not. But if you need to add a column for something, let me know, or go ahead and do it. And there's actually a lot more than there's actually a lot more that you can do than what you saw there when she clicked on add column. So if you need any help with like different types of things, let me know and I can do that too.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, Teams is pretty cool. Like, you can do a lot with it. We're doing a lot more within Councilman Hunsaker to do this. So I'm learning more every day, but hopefully this will help with the whole process, make it a little bit easier for everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna add this column.
So the column name is going to be Sarah Cheshire now.
Oh, let's change that. Can I edit it?
Yeah, you can edit it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Miklos, real quick, something I just want to mention to everyone is just a reminder that the process is through CMAHC.org. We've beta tested them galore. However, what we have not done is put them in live use. So this is the first time these new processes have been used live in actual work, other than some beta testing. So we may see a couple of little hiccups here and there. If so, loop me in, and then we'll get it resolved as quickly as we can. An example is when we looked at the TSC evaluations, when Sarah clicked and they coming up as TSC evaluations are closed, on my end, they look vastly different. So that's something I have to look into on the tech side.
Cool.
One other question, the TSC form that they're going to submit to us, where are those housed? And are they only viewable to the TSC?
Those are going to be housed on the same change request website, right? So if you remember, if you go to change request, right, and you see the listing of CRs, at the very top, you'll see TRC evaluations, TSC evaluations, and that third column. You would click the TSC evaluations, and that'll populate just the same as CRs, to where you'll have the list of submitted TSC evaluations, and then an option to submit a new evaluation at the top.
And that's not live yet, is that correct?
It's live, but we have no data yet.
Okay, so,
Yep.
so back on the CMAC website, where do I find the
Here, I'll share it again.
TSC evaluations? Because when I click on that, it doesn't show me the form. It just says change requests are currently closed.
Yeah, and some of that is going to be a coding issue, right? So we have to go in and we have to manually add all members for that TSC, right? So all the TRC members can do is just view.
Okay.
Yep. So when you see currently closed, all that says is there's no TSC evaluations.
Okay.
Yep.
But if we're a TSC member, when I click on that link that was up at the top of the page on the change request link,
Correct.
No form there, because I had a TSC member ask me about that. So
Yep. So that'll pull up, because all the TSC members should already be assigned and able to enter that value.
gotcha.
Sarah and Miklos can, because in their roles as chair and vice chair, we have added them admin functions on the website.
Yep.
So they'll have a little bit more functionality than the TRC members.
So, and if it helps for anyone to conceptualize it, because we do want to make sure that everything is transparent and that no one feels like we're hiding anything. The CMAC website, everything that's on here, any any evaluation that you're going to do, whether you're a TRC or TSC member, is all going to be housed on the CMAC website. This is the official record of everything.
Yep.
The team site that I created is literally just to help with our process. It's like an Excel document. That's all that it is. It is not the live and die process for what we're doing.
But it is a good document to store all those stuff, those thoughts, those ideas that come, put your comment in. And then when you've got that all together, you can post it here to the CMAC site.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
This has been
Dewey and
super helpful
Miklos,
for me. Go ahead.
Hey, Dewey and Miklos, I clearly jumped the gun a little bit, speaking of being willing to push buttons, and submitted mine way early. I read it and thought it was pretty simple, and went ahead and submitted, not realizing there were some that needed to go through that whole discussion stage. Can y'all unsubmit that for me so I can do it the right way? Yeah, that one right there.
Yep, shoot me an email. And actually,
Okay.
Miklos, Sarah, y'all should be able to go in and do that.
Yeah, after the
Yeah.
facilitator looks at a CR, they won't submit that TRC evaluation yet. It's only after we meet together as a group.
Yeah,
Correct.
I
Right.
didn't realize that, and I jumped the gun on it. So I won't do it again.
You're forgiven. You're
learning
forgiven.
Learning process for all. While we're on talking about evaluations, right? Just remember that part of the whole process is note keeping. So we try to be exceptionally transparent in that we'll have the meeting advertised for people to listen in. We'll post actually the meeting minutes, the recording for viewing by stakeholders. And then we're also going to do a written kind of synopsis, right? After each meeting where we start discussing CRs. So just remember notes, lots of good notes. And you could open up, type those into a Word document, keep those for posterity, however you want to do it. But also those notes will be valuable when you go back to do the evaluations. The numbers for the CRs are pretty small, so it's manageable. But for example, for the last edition, each TRC member had somewhere around 50 to 60 CRs they had to track. So yeah, if you didn't have good note keeping, definitely things that get lost in the mix.
This is a good meeting today, guys.
Yep.
Good. I'm glad it was worthwhile. So yeah, and building on what Dewey had said, the other reason we're kind of starting now and want to get this going is we don't want to wait till August, September, where now we all have 50 that we've got to sort through, in a couple of months. So
Yeah.
Want to try to get them done as they come in, so it keeps everyone's plate light. So that's all I have for today. Really appreciate everybody. Dewey, do you have anything else?
No, so I'm just saying this more for my needs than anything else. So on my to-do list is Miklos, I've got to loop you and Jill in together for sending out meeting info, all that fun stuff. And then for all involved, we got to get the TSCs assigned and get those meetings accomplished before the next TRC meeting. I am going to try, because we have such a small number, I'm going to try to have all of that completed by next Friday. I'll put some significant effort in on that. So by next Friday, and if not that, the Monday before the TRC meeting, you should be able to log in and see your TSC evaluations for your assigned CRs.
Cool. Sarah?
I don't have anything to add, except I'm excited now that we've explained it and I got to drive for a minute so I can figure out how it works. I think we're all a lot more comfortable. I see Terry and Grace shaking their head. Yeah, I think it'll be easier to figure out where we're going and I think it's a great system. Let's do this. I'm excited. When's
Awesome.
our next meeting for the TRC?
2 weeks.
In 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, we have standing meetings for 2 weeks, so we'll, assuming we can get everything lined up and we have stuff to discuss, we will see everybody in 2 weeks.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good.
Thanks everyone.
Good
All right,
afternoon.
thank y'all. Have a great week.